I don't know how it's going to come all together, but I do know that we've gotten a sneak peek into what it looks like for Madden 26. Probably going to look very similar on EA College Football 26. What is up, everybody? It is Jake back with the MF Film Room. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things EA College Football, hit that red subscribe button, hit your like button, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you like college football content, go subscribe to my other channel, Master Football with Jake Posey. Links in the description. But enough about all that EA College Football content. Let's go. All right, guys, are you ready for this? We got this video. It just came out. It's about Madden. Yeah, we know, dude, we have been waiting so long for any information about EA College Football 26. A lot of people have been talking, I see online, okay, we're a little bit worried. What's going on here? They're taking a lot of time here. They really didn't change much. What's going on here? Why are we doing all this? I think that hopefully, and again, I'm optimistic here, what they killed it so much with EA College Football 25, I got to give them credit for EA College Football 26. So much so that it looks like a lot of the things that were in Madden or EA College Football 25 are now going to be in Madden 26. One of those things where they have different dev teams. It's not just copy paste. Now, however, they are going to share a lot of things. They want to make sure that people can take your character from one game to the other. And again, that's the whole concept behind the reinvigoration of Road to Glory on this, on EA College Football 26 to feed over into Superstar mode on Madden 26. That was a big selling point. They had the package they were talking about at the beginning of the year, or not at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the month. So we see that that's kind of what's going on here. However, the cool thing about this is I think that Madden is going to tip their hand a little bit about what's going on in EA College Football 26 because we haven't really seen as many deep dives as we wanted to. I mean, the cool thing about it is like they made $1 billion on EA College Football 26. I think I saw some video about that. Or College Football 25. Absolutely incredible at what they've done here. So they know that, I mean, the player payout went from $600 to almost $1,500. Like, it's wild what they're doing here. Now, with that, Madden is still the moneymaker in a lot of ways. And I know that maybe not necessarily every single year, especially last year, EA College Football did fantastic. But the reason, I mean, at the end of the day, Eric Rayweather said this on one of his videos. If the only game you can play to be Patrick Mahomes or be the Cowboys is Madden 26, it's going to sell a lot of games. Even if it's not a great game, it's so much so that people, again, in this community have commented on the fact that they really haven't done that much with the game. It hasn't been very impressive recently. So the cool thing about that is we're going to talk about this video. It just came out a couple of hours ago about about Madden 26. That I think that this is going to feed into EA College Football 26 with especially talking about the wear and tear feature. I've been a big fan of the wear and tear feature. Really represents what's going on with college football. It looks like they've made a couple of adjustments there. First, let's go to the video, which I'm going to include the link in the description. Let's see that video right now. So checking out this video here, it's about 4 minutes long. It came out just a couple of hours ago here. Again, it's on Madden 26, the gameplay deep dive with Kurt Benkert. I actually really like Kurt Benkert. He's done a lot to teach me about what to see, how to read defenses, how to move from there. I really like what he's been doing there. So with this video, it's about a couple of minutes in here, you're going to see a couple of things. I've taken some screenshots here so we actually can go through it. I wanted to talk about 2 screenshots that feed you what I think is going to happen with EA College Football 26's wear and tear and how it's going to actually be a little bit more adjustable than it was in previous games. All right, so there's 2 screenshots I'm going to include here, and we're going to talk about this because I think that this right here is going to give you an insight into kind of what they're talking about here. From what I understand, and if you guys have information out there on the outside, you guys let me know. From what I understand, they want to get to a point to where more and more players are worn and torn, sorry, past tense, but it's easier to get those players in and out and they can kind of move on from there. So if you look at this down here, we look at the bottom there, we see on it says risk of injury. We see for Jalen Hurts, risk of injury severe. However, his wear and tear impacts are throw on the run speed, 3 to throw power, 1 to carry, and 3 to mid accuracy. You guys remember, if you were in severe situation, I know it's only a yellow leg right there, but it's got a risk of his injury is pretty severe. In the previous game, EA College Football 25, if you were to have yellow or even like orange, it would be like minus 20 throw power, minus 15 speed. I don't know if this is going to be correct or not. From what it looks like here, it looks like your impact on the field is going to be less, but your risk of re-injury will still be pretty high. So, I mean, think about that. If you were minus 20 throw power and minus 20 acceleration and minus 20 speed as a quarterback, just say you're injured. you're injured. I'm sorry, you're just injured, okay? Or you're Peyton Manning his last year in the NFL. One or the other, but you are absolutely injured. I'm hoping what this means is that more and more people are worn and torn. You have to sub them out in and out. It probably moves quick, but if they're hurt, get them out of the game. If they're injured, obviously they can't play. But again, people are hurt all the time, so get them out of the game. I think that's going to feed into the dynamic or into the mechanic there. But again, we'll see what the how it actually is put together when it comes out on the field. All right, this next one here, I apologize for getting the YouTube video getting the YouTube video a little tracker there at the bottom in the way of what we're looking at. But the cool thing about this is this was played during a live play. So I don't know if this is one of those things where you line up on the field and you're like, all right, we're going to get these people out, or if it's a pre-play thing where you get these people out. I don't know the aspect of that. I know that when this screen was up, the players were up and around and moving, so it was almost like, hey, get ready, you're going to go in one play. That's kind of the simulation that I'm looking at here. Cool thing about this is they've done a couple cool things with the substitutions here. You see we've got the LB and RB at the top there. We've got all offense. So it could be like receivers, offensive line, this or that. So you don't have to scroll up and down through every single position. I'm betting that, again, in the same way that people are pretty good at audibles, people are pretty good at, kind of going through those things, they're probably going to be pretty good at like, okay, offensive line, 1, 2, 3. All right, go down and sub in, left tackle 2 or something like that. That'd be a crazy substitution. But this is what it's going to look like here. So you'll see here that, Aaron Jones is halfback 1. He's the third down running back. The cool thing about that is based on the formation here, it's going to have the position on the field. It's not going to have the entire offensive roster or depth chart list where it's got, quarterback, running back, fullback, wide receiver, tight end, all offensive linemen, and then, third down running back, power running back, slot receiver. It's not going to have all of those things. I'm actually really looking forward to that. However, what we're going to do here is you can see how Aaron Jones is halfback 1. He's only a 64 overall because of his status. We're going to substitute in somebody else on this play. So it's going to have that based on the formation that it is. One thing I didn't really see here is you see how it says wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver for 3, 4, and 5. It didn't say like slot receiver. So I don't necessarily like that. I hope they can kind of clean that up so we understand which one it is, or it's just easy to see who it is there. But the cool thing about this is that you can kind of adjust that up and down depending upon what the side of the field you're looking at. Also at the very bottom, it's kind of covered up by the little red line there. It says reset to starters. So the cool thing is you kind of get yourself, you're like, oh my God, I have no idea what the hell. QB2 is in, halfback 4 is in, running back 6 is, or wide receiver 6 is in, reset to starters. I actually really like that option there. One thing that I do like as well, and I don't know about you guys, but what I would do is that for my team, I typically like an improviser or a field general quarterback. For QB1, he'd be my quarterback, but then my backup, I would put in some scrambler. I would have just some random scrambler who's really, really fast, kind of as my wildcat quarterback. The problem with that, though, is I set it up to where it would be a formation substitution. So I'd be like, oh, backup quarterback. The problem is when my starter, if he ever gets injured, my third stringer comes in because he's actually improviser, can actually throw. This is cool because you can actually just put like your scrambler, QB4, QB3, whatever it is, and substitute him in pretty quickly there. So it acts like its own formation substitution. I really like that here. And I'm telling you, this looks cool. If this is what the execution kind of looks like, pretty quick in and out. It depends on how many people get injured. If you have 7 people who are injured at one time, then it might be a bit, I don't know, it might be a bit cumbersome. However, it might also be like you had an opportunity to simulate like that, or to set that up throughout the game and you didn't do it, and now it's coming back to bite you in the butt. I don't know how it's going to come all together, but I do know that we've gotten a sneak peek into what it looks like for Madden 26. Probably going to look very similar on EA College Football 26. So we really worried about this enhanced change of, dynamic wear and tear. Anytime the word dynamic comes out, it basically just means stuff's going to change all over the place. This looks like it's a pretty good execution so far. Again, it's only for Madden 26. It could change when it comes over, but so far, early returns, I like how it looks. How do you guys like how it looks? All right, guys, get in the comments right now. What do you think about all that? Get in your comments, let me know. Remember also to please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. So for me, guys, I'll see you guys later. I am out.